Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up. What's going on, Bears fans? Adam Hoge, Mark Carman.
Hi.
Nicholas Moreano.
I'm so excited for today's show, for the record.
Why?
Well, for one, I love your CHGO look today. Two,
Actually, I have some beef on that topic.
Okay, great.
I was going to wear my CHGO Bull shirt today. But I'm like, all right, it's opening day. Everyone else is going to wear that.
I was thinking very similarly.
Not going to wear it. You guys roll in like...
I wore CHGO yesterday.
I don't even know what you're wearing.
I don't have the Bulls shirt. This is a new look for me. This is a relaxed green. I feel good about this one today. I made some new wardrobe purchases yesterday. Oh. Thank you to the fine people at
Nordstrom Rack.
At Nordstrom Rack and TJ Maxx and Marshalls and all those great people out there.
You're a Maxxinista, aren't you?
Yeah. And what was my other thing that I'm excited about? Oh, yeah, I just kicked Nick's ass in ping pong.
That's right.
And Nick just lost for the first time in CHGO history, and I was the one to take him down after losing to Benedetto yesterday, so I'm in a really good mood.
That's right.
You needed that win because your reputation around here was starting to really crumble. A lot of talk about winning with zero results. I mean, you're almost like the Bears.
Easy on zero. Benedetto, I had his number, and then he beat me yesterday. 2 out of 3. I won the first game and gave him the opportunity for 2 out of 3, and then he didn't come through. That was a first-class move by me.
Wait, I'm sorry. What happened?
You won.
Right, but what was it you gave?
I won the first one.
Yes.
You walked off the ping pong table, and I said, "Would you like to stay for 2 out of 3?" That was a great gesture by me, and you said.
And then you lost 2 in a row.
And then I lost 2 in a row, and felt terrible about it.
Kind of fell apart in the last one too.
Yeah, and then Nick showed up here today, and I don't know what was going on. Honestly, he just kind of. You weren't on your game today. You were.
You know, I didn't work out this morning, so I think that's what happened. I wasn't already loose. This is my first physical activity of the day, and Mark, you whipped my ass. Props to you. It had to be done at some point. I was undefeated in here.
And I have to say, my view of the last point was pretty epic. Because Nick went running that way, off. There's a wall, so I lost my view of him. And then all of a sudden, I just see Carm come in boom, and he slams it and wins.
It was very fitting how I lost. It's a major spike.
But your return for that had to be pretty awesome because you went straight back, and all of a sudden the ball came over.
I don't know. On the last point, maybe I just threw it over in defeat, but
Carm's forehand
it's something.
It's pretty good
when it's on.
When he gets around on it, it's pretty. It's pretty good.
That's very good.
Got a lot of qualifications, which, by the way, speaks into the Flus and what's going on here. Big day for Flus yesterday, which I'm very excited because I feel like people don't want to hear us talk about ping pong. By the way, Carmen V's coming up at 12:40. That's going to be a great part of the show. Stick around for that.
Yeah, we have to get to Flus, but can we just acknowledge my favorite part about playing the Patriots every 4 years?
Please.
Okay. So, I don't know how many people realize this, but Bill Belichick does this every week, no matter who they're playing. But when they play the Bears, obviously it's about the Bears, so it really entertains me. But every week, Bill Belichick will go on a 5-minute monologue about how great the opponent is that they play that week. And he could make the worst team sound like they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, Justin Fields is doing good things, and you can see the talent there.
And pretty good. I like that.
Robert Quinn is a lead pass rusher, and he's still got a lot in the tank. And Darnell Mooney is just a great young receiver. I can't stand listening to him.
You're not that far off, though. So Chad Graff, who covers the Patriots for the Patriots, used to cover the Vikings. He covers the Patriots for The Athletic. He said that it was a 6-minute monologue today about how great the Bears are. It took him 3 separate screenshots on his phone to share the transcript. I just thought I would read some of the comments. this is a pretty impressive group and really a young team that you can see getting better all the time.
It's getting better, even though they lost 3 in a row. They looked lost to a pathetic Commanders team, but they're good. They're awesome.
Justin Fields is a major threat every time he touches the ball.
The coach talks about footwork, and he doesn't know his reads, and is terrible.
No, he sees the field well, according to Bill Belichick.
The coach said yesterday about that he's got to get the ball out quicker, but according to me, he's just amazing at it.
Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery are very good. This running game is right there with Cleveland. I mean, they literally have the same exact amount of yardage. I think Herbert is leading the league in yards per carry. They're very hard to tackle. Lot of explosive plays. They lead the league in yards per pass attempt.
That's so. It's so annoying. Keep going.
Did you know the Bears lead the league in yards per pass attempt?
I knew that it was yards per completion for Fields. I didn't know yards per pass attempt.
Maybe Bill Belichick has. I mean, they don't attempt many passes, so
it's a problem. The problem with that is that he never takes the short read. But go ahead, Bill.
Sometimes you have to read behind the lines though, because he praises Darnell Mooney.
Bears the best 2-4 team I've ever seen.
Here's his praise of the offensive line though.
Oh God.
Young offensive line, talented offensive line. 2 young tackles. Then he goes right back to the running backs. In other words, not impressed with the offensive line. Bill Belichick just basically skipped over that. This goes on and on and on. And then one of my favorite parts is he always goes in depth on the special teams. But this is why he's literally naming.
Okay, here we go. Let's go. Special
Wait, here we
teams.
go. Velus Jones Jr., the rookie, has been great for them.
I hate great at giving wins to the other team. I mean, that's what he's doing right now.
Josh Blackwell is very fast. Blackwell's been actually doing a really good job. They have a lot of team speed. Dane Cruikshank and some of their linebackers, which those guys run well too. This is what he does, though. He'll name everybody on the roster. It's so funny.
The way that
which opposing coach names Dane Cruikshank?
We don't.
Bill Belichick.
How many games has Cruikshank even been active for?
2, I think. He played last game after being inactive for a while.
The way that Velus goes back on a ball and looks completely clueless. But he's faking everybody out. I know he's setting us up.
Has Dane even played this year?
The skills got a big leg. Punter's got a big leg. Trenton Gill whacks it down there pretty good.
So honestly, this is the thing I hate most about coaches, and Belichick, of course, is probably the king of this. He's just making it so that he's basically filibustering, so that they can't ask any questions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's annoying as shit to sit there and listen to that crap.
Right. So, real question, Lawrence,
what are we doing?
For anybody else, did Bill Belichick, with his level of success, combined with how he handles media press conferences, did he ruin NFL media? He literally, you can't get any coach to say anything about anything ever, and it's all because
I think that was happening regardless.
I
mean, college coaches are the same.
Most of my anger right now is based on the college coaches that I've covered over the last decade. But
can I keep going here though?
Please. I'm sorry.
We've only gotten to Trenton Gill. I'm waiting to hear about.
I'm only on page 2, but some of this stuff is just hilarious. Velus Jones Jr. in the return game, strong, explosive guy. We spent a lot of time on him. I'm thinking he's actually talking about the draft there when he says that, but we'll see. Really dangerous with the ball in his hands. Dante Pettis, Treston Ebner on the kickoff returns, another fast guy, plays really well in all their special teams. Pettis, an experienced guy back there. They use him on some punt returns. Well, I'm glad he realizes that because I'm thinking it's actually going to be Pettis this week on the punt returns, not Velus Jones. Just goes on and on and on.
Is this just a muscle flex that he does, showing everybody that in essence he works harder than all and knows everything? Is that why he does it?
Yeah, maybe.
Or is it because he wants every player everywhere to love him and eventually want to play with him? Is that part of the strategy? There's Greg Popovich would do that in the NBA. Literally, he maybe his own guys that once they're in, he might say we just need to actually be able to play basketball. But as far as anybody's competing against, he'll prop them up.
I remember when Sean McVay did that. He named all the Bears defense, and I think everybody on Twitter is going wild. Like, oh, look at Sean McVay. He knows everybody. Akeem Hicks from D-line all the way to the secondary. I don't know. Some coaches tend to do
There's definitely a strategy going on here. What else? Anything?
I'm just skimming through the rest of this. I think that's pretty much it. He praises Matt Eberflus because they haven't given up any points in the second half, which is true.
In the second half, they given up 2 touchdowns now, back-to-back. Last 2 games.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe at one point that was true.
By the way, as a special teams coach who experienced the same damn thing last week, that ain't on the defense last game. Those are special teams points that get
the Minnesota drive.
The Minnesota one counts. That was a legitimate drive. But that's one all season. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but for actual facts and communication skills, Nick greater than Belichick. That's what I got.
Well, yeah. I mean, Bill Belichick ain't doing, a podcast anytime soon. Although I would probably listen to it.
If he talks like that.
Well, but when he actually wants to be engaging, he is.
Mm-hmm. True. There's been clips, yeah.
He can, which is the...
There's a great response to this Chad Graff tweet. Some random guy on Twitter just says, it's amazing how thorough he can talk about them, though. I wish Nathaniel Hackett knew the Broncos as well as Bill Belichick knows the Bears. That's great.
That's a good tweet.
That's fantastic. All right. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We just want to lead with Bill Belichick stuff. You wanted to talk about Flus and changes that are actually going to be made?
Well, I just thought that the Flus yesterday was... And I admittedly pay way too much attention to what's said and picking it apart, so I'll call myself out on that. But the comment that made the rounds yesterday that everybody was latching onto was what exactly? Hold on a second. I
think it's the one Nick tweeted.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, please read.
Yeah, here it is. He said, I would say that we are strong where we are strong right now, and we need to improve where we need to improve. Bears coach Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, that's a John Fox outlier.
We're getting a little bit of a Foxy. We're getting a little bit of a Trustman combo here with the strong where we're strong and need to improve where we need to improve. But I just thought that we could just go around the horn here. Chad included. That's you, Doug Dyer. That's you, Incredible Creations, especially you, Mubs. Where are you strong and where do you need to improve? Benedetto, Lawrence, where are you strong and where do you need to improve? Like,
okay.
I mean, I think we can all look in the mirror right now. Just take a second. Where we're strong, where we need to improve. And so I'd like to shout out Greg Braggs, who I've not seen in the chat today, but I thought he was incredibly strong in bringing in a television set to
I thought we were supposed to be talking about ourselves.
Right. Well, okay. Right. So I'm giving an example. If Braggs was here, he could say I was strong bringing in the TV.
Literally strong.
Yes. And great team guy there. Mm-hmm. And then he could say that he's weak where I don't want to speak for Braggs,
but you're about to.
But perhaps
where's this going?
I don't know. I don't know where to go because I'm very uncomfortable because he's we've seen the video of the bricklaying and we know that Braggs is an amazing family man. But there's got to be something where he needs to improve. Adam, would you like to kick us off on where you're strong and where you need to improve?
Strong with the
consistency.
Yeah. I don't
always
know.
coming here, ready to work.
I don't want to.
Well, except for last week.
Hey, I'm strong where I'm strong, and I got to improve.
Yeah,
where I
there you go.
I'm more comfortable just talking about where I need to improve at.
Okay,
I need to be a little bit more on top of everything. I got my hands in a lot of different cookie jars, and sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes practice gets moved up an hour on me, and I didn't see the message and wasn't there on time.
Right.
Like that's a problem.
So
right? we got to stay on top of things a little bit better. Adam Hoge.
Fair. There we go. Bang. So for me, like yesterday, I thought I was incredibly strong with the early. I was up at 8 and I was making the whitefish. I got the butter on it. I got the salt and the pepper, and I got the lemon. I got it in the oven. I got it.
Cooking whitefish at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. because then it's ready for a lunchtime snack. It's ready for when I come home from after a huge tennis win last night. I got a nice healthy snack. I don't stop at the Mickey D's. Shout out Greg Braggs and go.
Oh wait, right away. Another criticism of myself. Awful with food planning. Don't have time to cook ahead like you're doing. I'm so impressed you're cooking a whitefish at 8 a.m.
I mean, I thought it was a great move. I thought that was very strong. But then
I may be getting a Filet-O-Fish at 8 a.m.
Right, exactly. And then I thought weak on the back end where I however long going to bed at night, the sink's full. Don't have the I could follow through better. I could clean it up so I could wake up and it could be fresh. A nice good start to the day rather than I'm doing dishes at the next morning at 7:30. That's where I could improve. How about you, Nick?
I can improve on the ping pong table because I lost to you today, Mark. So that's where I need to improve. I made dinner for last night for today. Made some pasta, so maybe that's where I'm strong at. But yeah, I think. Again, the Bears, when it applies to them, when I think of strong, it's like the rushing attack.
Oh, now we're going real. Now we're going
real. Now we're going back to
okay. I like it.
So a lot of people were commenting on that tweet from yesterday, what Eberflus said. It's like, what strengths? How many strengths are there really? When you look at this team, maybe there's again the rushing attack. Defensively, they improved last game in the second half, but very minimal. There's a lot of things where they need to improve on for sure.
Yeah, okay, if we're actually doing that, and Lawrence, would you like to say where you're strong, where you need to improve before we go into Bears?
Basically, I think my serve is pretty strong, but my returns when you put those looping balls over the net, I'm just trying to crush it every time. That's a little weak. I should probably just hit it over the net.
You have an excellent serve. It's true. We're talking ping pong here. If you're just joining us, which is probably unlikely, but hey, if you somehow are.
Oh, Doug, Nick's shoe game is strong. The rest of his outfit's weak. What?
Wow.
So that's where I would actually.
Yeah, someone's mad about my shoes. No, people only shit on my shoes when Nick's here, though. So maybe I should have realized he's in studio today and put on my nicer Nikes.
I mean, yeah, Nick.
Whatever, man.
Good looking shoes today.
Well, I mean, I think. You
know who I always respected? Jim Phillips wore the same damn thing every single day because he's just got more important things to worry about.
The starchy white shirt
and
the purple tie.
Yes,
and never. Shout out Jim Phillips.
Shout out to the Simpsons. That's like a Simpsons move.
There's more important things to worry about. Just wear what you.
Just do what you do.
My Nikes are comfortable. They need to be thrown in the wash. They're not as white as they usually are. I'll wash them. Maybe tomorrow.
I got new kicks to unveil. Not today because today's not going to happen. That was a flusism right there. Could that be a thing, by the way? Flusisms. Why
the flusies?
See, need to improve. That's the second day in a row where I did not have the phone muted. That's two in a row.
You know what the cure for that is? Curious where you guys come in on this. My phone's always on vibrate. Never not on vibrate. You know how you don't have to worry about it going off in a press conference? If it's always on vibrate.
Yeah, I got the old silence button on here over here.
But I don't. Yeah, okay.
Why do you need it to ring? You don't feel it in your pocket?
Now I'm in trouble because now Carm technology is going to be on the frying pan here because I
right next to the whitefish.
I'm not sure I know how to make the phone vibrate, so I need to. I knew. See now Benedetto just a double.
You don't know how to put your phone on vibrate?
Still that.
That's
an iPhone. Yeah, even I know it's like that.
I don't. I just got this phone like 2 days ago.
Looks
for
nice.
the record.
That was a nice little phone.
Yeah, I don't have a case for it. I got to make it. It's a 12-13er.
12-13er.
All right. So you were bothered by the Flus comment.
I know I wasn't bothered. I was
a little annoyed he didn't ask. I thought, wasn't it Potsy who asked the question? It was like, what do you need to get better at?
Yeah. Like he was asked 5 times.
That I'm not gonna lie. Listening to that press conference, there was definitely some John Fox vibes of just like, look, man, there are questions you can answer where you're not giving away state secrets. Like, respect the fact that your fans do want to know some things about how you feel about your team.
That's another real question that. With the Shaq and Al, do you actually want him to be honest? Because people like, oh, the media's mad. Like, hey man, we're here to give you the information that you want. That's the point of the questions. It's not so Mark Potash or Adam Hoge or Nick or Carm can be like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to know. We're trying to actually reflect interest here. To me, it would be awesome if a coach could be confident enough to just it. What surprised you about the season so far? Well, look, I thought that we'd be a little further ahead offensively right now, and I thought we'd be getting to the quarterback more, but that hasn't happened, and so those are two things that we're focused on.
I know a lot of people yesterday too were like, "Are you going to expect him to call out individual players?" Well, you already did that with Tevin Jenkins. He said he didn't practice well on a Wednesday, so it's like he's done that before.
Great call.
But like here, very vague. I had to transcribe that part, and I just said to everybody, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're gonna have to read this because." It's there's a lot of nothing in there, but he's called out individuals before, so here just super vague, super vague.
So I don't know if there's necessarily alarm bells going off from like the coaching aspect yet. I think it's still a little too early. I haven't necessarily had a huge problem with game operation yet. I mean, a little bit of inconsistency with the timeouts before halftime, I think, so far. Mm-hmm. I think that's a coach that's trying to figure out his personnel and who he can exactly trust.
True.
And getting a little – but, hey, I can show you a lot worse situations. Nathaniel Hackett be one of them right now. Every single game there's been some idiotic blunder that just does not make sense.
I mean, overall, I think I like the Flus. I think the Flus has been fine. I think the Flus definitely knows what the Flus wants to do, and he's going to stick to being the Flus. And I think it's a solid Flus. I would characterize him right now as a high floor, low ceiling, willing to revamp that, revise that, reconsider that at some point. That there's actually a huge ceiling here. But I think he's just solid. I think you have a solid coach. I don't think they hired a home run, but I think they hired a solid single or double.
Okay, so that I think actually goes against there being a high ceiling, which is kind of my concern. Like.
I don't think there's a high ceiling. I think
sorry.
High floor, low ceiling.
I misheard you. I apologize.
Maybe I said it wrong.
No, that I kind of agree with, and that's where I think like this sort of gets into more of a big picture conversation of why should Bears fans trust that this is going to end up any different? You know what I mean? Like if you actually track what's happened here, it is a sort of like this blend of going back to the Lovie Smith days, but with the process that got you John Fox, right? You, with one exception being that Ryan Poles actually did have full control over who he was hiring, but like it was still okay, we made a mistake with our last hires because we actually didn't know what we're doing. So now we're going to bring in Ernie Accorsi to help us, and this time it's Bill Polian, and then this is going to lead to this guy that we hire, and then and then it's like it's almost like they just keep switching between okay. We screwed this up, so now we need outside help. Oh, that didn't work either, so now we're going to do this on our own and end up with Matt Nagy. And, oh, now that didn't work, so now let's go back. And, like, the problem is that I always get back to, and I apologize if I sound like a broken record. We actually haven't talked about this in a while. The same two guys are at the top.
Right.
It's still George and Ted. And perhaps we're not talking enough about the fact that Ted's actually retiring, and it's probably the most important hire that this franchise has had since George took over the team in 2011, and I just fear that they're just going to promote from within, which I think would be the completely wrong thing to do.
There's a major right turn and a great conversation. Who are they going to hire, and what will they have that person actually do? Other than help out with getting to Arlington Heights and or follow Carm's dream, which is to knock down Soldier Field and build a brand new one in the city, and the Bears all of a sudden come together in a way that nobody ever imagined, and I come out looking like a complete genius, which is about me, and the Bears being in Chicago. But hold on, rewinding back to here. My one point on what you just said was like, Lovey would have been fine though if they had a quarterback. They just got to get the quarterback right, and a high floor is fine. Just get the quarterback right, and that high floor coach can work. You can't have Rex Grossman.
Which is why but that's why we keep spinning in circles here, and us included on this show every week, because every single one of us, believe it or not, you can paint us as negative. I think thinks Justin Fields is good, wants Justin Fields to be good. oh, by the way, every metric shows he's like the worst quarterback in football right now. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's the point is, what is there to believe in other than just like that hope that it's going to work out? And when everything else around the quarterback just seems like it's a endless circle with this organization, like that's why I think everybody's struggling with it. And so when you have another head coach up there now who's like basically refusing to answer questions, yeah, he's being nice to you, but it's just like the same thing over and over again. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, I think you're right there, Adam. It would be different had this regime given Fields all these assets, whether it was offensive line, and then he was failing. But They didn't do that. And now going back to that hope, you're hoping that with all the salary cap they're going to have next year that they will supply him with that. But they didn't do it initially. And I think that's also a part of the problem where's the trust factor in that?
Right. Well,
sounds like Shawshank Redemption over here about hope.
Great movie.
And look, it is at some point it is going to be get busy living or get busy dying. Let's go. And we're going to have to crawl through that hole and get to the other side and go through the shit and get to Zihuatanejo. That's all going to have to happen here for us to live the dream. I don't want to
We just want to get to Zihuatanejo.
I mean, we don't want to go the Brooks route here. We don't want to, go halfway house and then all just,
don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that.
You know what you need if you get to Zihuatanejo?
A boat?
You need some sunglasses.
Hoge.
You need a great quality of sunglasses and a company where if you actually are on the boat with those sunglasses in Zihuatanejo and you drop them in the water, they're going to replace them for you.
That's what they do over there.
That's what you need. That's what you need. And that's why we are partners with Shady Rays here at CHGO, because they never understood why sunglasses were so expensive. So they set out to change that. You don't have to break the bank for quality sunglasses this fall. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered. Shady Rays are premium, polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. And as I was hinting at, the best part about Shady Rays is if you lose them, if you break them, don't care what you do with them, drive over them with your car for some reason, they will replace them.
How many? Because I literally, it takes me 10 minutes. Oh, just sat on them. Oh, don't know where they are.
If you lose or break them on day one, they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Drop them in the lake. Drop them off a cliff, anything, they will replace them. And even with that strong of a protection program, they still manage to make quality that I can tell you seems to be as good as any expensive pair that I have ever worn. They have over 200,000 five-star reviews, and they also provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed and have donated over 20 million meals to date. So that's another great reason to check out Shady Rays. And this is exclusive for our listeners at CHGO. Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. Use code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com. That means you buy one, you get one free. You can get 2 pairs for as low as $54. Redeem only at shadyrays.com. Again, the code is CHGO. Shadyrays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades.
You know what goes along with Shady Rays, you guys? Meat sticks. Well, now it does. Because we're doing it right now.
Okay. Bust it out. Let's go.
Here you guys go. This is
Green
Ridge
like
Farms right here.
It seemed like a little bit of a reach, but I can go with you.
A little bit, but it's going to work today. That's one meat stick cut up in, obviously, 4.
Look at this wrapping job by Nick.
There you go. I'll read off why Green Ridge Farms is amazing. You guys try those. But it's a Chicago local meat and cheese company that offers a better all-natural option. Green Ridge Farms are the makers of all-natural deli meat, sausages, and their famous meat sticks.
Oh,
perfect for tailgating, happy hour, and school lunches. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, brother.
Also have...
Is one of those mine?
There's one for you, Lawrence. There we go. They have 16 grams of protein per stick, which is perfect for a post-workout, which I did not have this morning. And the meat sticks come in chicken, black forest beef, and flavors like jalapeno cheddar. The jalapeno cheddar one, when we had back in the office a couple weeks ago, delicious. Definitely have to try that. There's Lawrence. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And right now, when you order any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com and include a pack of meat sticks in your cart, those meat sticks will be free simply by using the code CHGO at checkout. Good stuff, right?
So good.
Oh, yeah.
That
It's delicious.
was pretty good,
They
man.
legitimately are.
That was amazing.
Love Green Ridge Farm. All right.
Well, so let's just go over this. Adam's segue to the Shady Rays ad, 10.
Thank you.
Nick's segue about a 3. However, he did bring product, so I think that bumps it up to at least.
It wasn't
going
to be a good, nice transition either way. But I got the product here, so.
I props to Nick. I feel so much more full and lovely right now.
I mean, is that whitefish now just going to stay in the fridge?
That I went big last night, and this morning was a great start. Thank you very much. I had my eggs purchased at the farmers market, which is at the same place that we have our tailgate November the 6th, by the way. Love to see everybody out there November 6th. That was now elite transition right there, Lawrence.
Yep.
Right? Bears, Dolphins. Let's not worry about the record. Let's talk about beating Tua and company and Justin Fields moving forward and just having a great time, period. 8 a.m. we open up there till noon on November the 6th, right at Roosevelt in Michigan. Yes, that the official CHGO tailgate, best in the city. Food, drinks, everything. I don't know what the price of this is, but whatever the price is, it's amazing. So, hey, kick down.
I
Let's
believe
go.
there's multiple levels. I think the initial one without parking is, I think, Gale Sayers, which would be 40.
Oh.
And then not sure.
Okay.
There's also the parking option, which I know was 85 last time. I don't know if it's bumped up a little at all. We'll see.
Well, it's still regardless. It's a
Great deal.
You're not going to find a better deal to get all you can eat and drink before a game, and also park your car if you need to within walking distance of the stadium. So check it out.
And money means nothing to our listeners. You just are so happy to support us. We know that the price is just irrelevant because you just want to hang out.
I do agree with our commenters right now. Please do not bring fish into the office.
Good Lord, yes. Thank you.
We're good. We appreciate Nick bringing the meat sticks. We don't need the white fish in the office.
Well, I haven't brought the whitefish in, Sean, for the record. Now, there has been a request, Luke, who's hanging out too. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Even old man Luke, Grandpa Stucky.
Stuck my around me for phone on mute, which is a fair haste. Lawrence he's never had lox and bagels in his life.
Oh.
And as the Jewish man on the show.
That you can bring in.
Yeah? Okay.
That's different, though. It's cooked salmon.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's don't think that it doesn't have an odor because it definitely does.
Oh, it does, but it has I made some.
But you're not putting it in the microwave though, and
I made some smoked salmon this summer. That is a good odor.
Okay,
It's definitely. Also, we need to give a shout out to just CHGO in general for the amazing news we dropped this morning.
Ayo.
It is the Bulls opener. It is depressing that Zach LaVine's not going to play tonight, but really, what matters is that our newest teammate at CHGO is Ayo Dosunmu.
That's awesome.
It's so awesome.
Cool.
Ayo is such a good dude.
Yeah.
And it's just the whole Morgan Park ILL Bulls.
He's a true Chicago.
I mean, it's such
CHGO fit.
Yeah, and is there a guy more likable than Ayo going? I mean, really. So,
well, make sure you're checking out our team at CHGO Bulls because Ayo is going to be making appearances throughout the season on their show. There's going to be other things involved with CHGO that he's going to do, like the amazing photo video shoot he already did.
oh, listen to this, man.
With us.
Oh, look at this.
If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see that. Just the shot to the.
I mean, the fact that we're
had a
throwing
drone?
Ayo on a roof is amazing.
Someone has a drone.
I had to say though, John Greenberg had a pretty good joke on Twitter.
He did.
Here
I
it
saw
comes.
that.
He said that Kevin Kaduk wouldn't let Ayo off the roof until you like and subscribe.
That was great.
So make sure you like and subscribe.
He's
That's the
Ayo's up
problem.
there.
We got to let him off so he can get to the game tonight because he's still on the roof.
He's going to be playing a lot of minutes tonight and all season.
100 likes on the show. We'll let Ayo
We'll
off.
let
the
Ayo
roof.
free.
We'll let, also, we dropped the hoodies yesterday. Everybody's been asking for hoodies. It is hoodie season. SZN. And There's 4 of them there for you to check out. Go get them. CHGO Locker.
Can I'm gonna buy 2, and I want to ask just a question to everybody, because you're wearing a hoodie. I wear a hoodie every day. Lawrence is not wearing one. You're not wearing one, but
I mean, I had one on. It's a little warm in here today, which is awesome.
Does anybody actually ever use the hood, the functionality of the hood?
Yes.
Yes.
Outside in the cold to protect your neck.
But you got to protect your neck always.
Even when I'm wearing a hat, sometimes I don't even pull it all over my head. I'll just pull the hood up so it's blocking my neck.
I mean, I walk my dog every morning. I don't know about Poppy if she's getting walks, but
yeah, Poppy's struggling right now.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Back to the Bears real quick. We got
Bears.
Carmen V coming up. I wanted to share a not so great nugget. That I tweeted out. I like following Football Outsiders DVOA. I think of all the metrics you can look at, I think it does a really good job of showing who is the best teams, who are the best teams, who are the worst teams, factors in offense, defense, special teams. Believe it or not, the Patriots are 10th right now in DVOA, overall DVOA in the league. Bears, 31st. Only the Panthers lower than them so far.
Is that good?
Here's what might surprise you, though. We talked a lot this offseason about how the schedule was supposed to be easier. We also warned you that sometimes that changes once you get to the season and teams start playing games. And
This is a bad tweet.
Yeah. Sorry. But one of the things Football Outsiders does with their DVOA is it also will track, okay, based on what we're seeing from the DVOA, here's who has played the easiest schedule so far. Here's who has the easiest / hardest schedules the rest of the way, based on how things are tracking right now. So far this season, through 6 games, the Bears have played the 5th easiest schedule so far. That shouldn't necessarily surprise you based on what we thought coming in the season. The problem, they have the 2nd hardest schedule remaining. Because as it turns out, the NFC East is better than everybody thought. The Jets are an example of a team that's better than everybody thought. So you just look at this coming up: Patriots, Cowboys, Dolphins,
Lions, Falcons.
Falcons are better than people thought.
Yeah. The 3-week stretch from December 4th to the 24th, the Packers, Eagles, Bills.
Ouch.
That's a daunting end of the way for the season. That's not good. Not good.
So, should we do it real quick? They're 2-4. They beat New England. Anybody? That's a no across the board. 2-5. Anybody think they beat Dallas? Nope. Okay, 2-6.
Well, okay, let me just say something. I still do think that this team, it's hard to find a lot of wins. I also don't think they're going to be a team that's getting blown out a lot. Right? And that's the one thing we have seen about them so far. Even that Vikings game that looked like it was going to be a blowout, they were in it at the end. And I still think that's going to be a theme. I think that they are going to be in a lot of these games, and there's probably going to be a couple that they pull out. There's also probably going to be more than a handful that feel like the Vikings and Commanders games just felt like, where it's like agonizing that they made mistakes and didn't win.
I feel a surprising win at some point coming along the schedule. Hopefully it'll be Sunday, December 4th when the Packers come to Soldier Field. That would be a great surprising win.
I think they'll win. I probably won't predict them to win any of the next 3 games. I feel like they will win one of them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like when we go through this, I think there'll be 1 and 2 in the next 3 games between New England, Dallas, and Miami. One of those 3 games they're going to pull out a surprising win because it is the NFL. Mm-hmm. And they are going to be in the games.
Let us pray. I mean, please don't lose all 3. That would be a 6-game slide to 2-7.
Our Father.
Can we get one? I would listen. Just to beat New England and Belichick, I would give up the Dallas, Miami, and Detroit game. How's that?
Okay.
I'd throw
Prime
in
time
Detroit.
too,
Just beat Belichick.
Here's how you know it's bad. Our guy Braggs, he says the Bears will be close in every game, and at the end of every game, Bayless Jones will find some way to win.
That is rude. And And if Braggs would like to put in the chat where he's strong and where he can improve.
If Hoge or Carman had said that week 1, Braggs would have lost it.
Oh,
we'd be the negative media.
He would have just stared at you and said, that's why I'm not a media guy, because you guys, you just don't get what it is to be a Bears fan. You don't understand what it's like to bring a TV to CHGO. You don't understand what it's like to go to Cermak and whatever parking lot Braggs has hung out in the last 50 years for tailgates, which was an amazing scene. And where's my guy? What's his name again?
I don't know.
I have it in my phone, actually, but I won't take time to do it. Juicy Lucy or something. What was his name, Braggs? You know what I'm talking about.
Juicy Lucy is a burger in Minnesota.
This guy had it tattooed on his chest, something.
All right.
Yes. I don't know where we are right now. Thank you.
I feel like half my day is just spent getting Carman back on the train tracks.
Yeah. Is it Carmi V Wednesday?
Yes, it is.
Should we bring in Carmi V?
The Carman we know who will stay on the tracks.
Who probably-
Carmi V
Probably has her phone on vibrate right now.
Without a doubt, her phone is on vibrate. We know this. She would never make such a mistake.
All right. Well,
And-
Was there?
Oh,
Who didn't have their phone on vibrate?
guess. Take a wild guess.
You're right. I didn't need a guess. I didn't need a guess.
You're my Bears After
talk
Dark
about where-
teammate. You can't. You need to be on. We're work together, Carmi V. Don't side with Hoge.
Well, but see, that's what it was. I wasn't there to tell you to put your phone on vibrate.
Thank you. That's better.
Sweet and sour.
I got you.
Sweet and sours. What did I say? What did I?
Juicy
put?
Lucy.
Juicy Lucy, sweet and sour is the same dude. Come on, that's right there.
One is a hamburger. One is a person, apparently. Carmi, can we talk about where she is right now?
Yeah.
She's like hanging out with Kay Adams and doing like
Cool stuff.
making real moves with her life.
Well, shouldn't we say that Carmi V right now though is brought to you by our newest, finest, greatest DraftKings, as you see in the corner. Put in that code CHGO. Kickers lining up for an onside kick. Carmi V's lining up to get on here. Chances of Carmi V being here is huge, but perhaps the stakes are high and the tension is higher for the Bears kicker. Although, let's go. We got this. But hey, listen. The pulse, you're in it. It's the moment. Everything's racing. And then Cairo Santos kicks it. This is the ball lands. Everybody just feels so good all over because you can do this with every play. You can make it that exciting with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. Make it official and check out their unbeatable offers. Right now, new customers can make any, listen to this, $5 NFL bet, $5, and then you get $200 in free bets if your team wins. So $5 on the Bears to beat the Patriots, and then all of a sudden you get $200 in free bets. Or you can lie and say the Patriots are your favorite team and go that route. Nobody's going to call you on that. Check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays, which a lot of options this weekend looking ahead if you want to go the parlay route. To make things even sweeter, you can throw down on the stepped-up same-game parlays once per game day all season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use the promo code CHGO to get those $200 in free bets if your team wins. Just place a $5 bet on any football game only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that code CHGO.
Guys, just really quickly, Game Time. If you love CHGO, Game Time's a great way to support us, so you won't find better deals on Bears tickets, so use the Game Time app. We all use it here. Mark's going to demonstrate on his new phone that he just got. Hopefully he can get that running. But join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app and score the best seats to all your favorite events.
I might go down to Indiana tonight for Wizards Pacers, which just popped up.
Carmi V, sorry about that. I didn't realize we were doing ads. That's my bad. I shouldn't have had you on there. You get to listen to them do ads.
Y'all
But,
are good.
honestly, we should have done the ads before bringing.
I
Miss
thought it was the
Vitali,
right
but that's
time and the
fine.
right
It's
place.
fine,
And
yeah.
Carmi V's so patient, and we love her
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Carmi, what's wrong with the Bears?
Oh God, Kay asked me that today, and there's not one answer, guys. You know that. It's gonna take time. That's all I can say.
Do you buy that Flus was pinned down a little bit yesterday. Like, can Justin Fields make incremental improvements during the season? Thought it was a very good question from Courtney Cronin.
Wasn't it specifically about the footwork?
Well, right. He was just lining up like he can. I think that's how it went.
Mm-hmm.
Footwork.
Yeah, he was talking about his footwork and timing.
Yeah, and can you do that in the middle of the season on a mini bye or on a full bye later, or just week to week? What's your read on that?
Yeah, no, I thought that was interesting, but I thought what was even more interesting was that he wouldn't totally commit to saying that Justin was holding the ball too long. Like, you could tell he kind of wanted to, but like he wouldn't make that as a blanket statement. So then I think he reverted back to like what he had said in the past about Justin's footwork and all that kind of stuff, and saying how that's what he needs to improve on. Yeah, I think that was interesting.
Carmen,
that was more interesting.
With the whole analytics drama that happened yesterday, that the Bears' offensive line's the second best in pass protection, Justin holds the ball too long. Where are you at with this whole entire dilemma, I would say, with, again, the pass protection being, quote-unquote, as good as it is, and Justin holding the ball too long?
Yeah, I'm going back to a tweet because there was a stat, I don't know if you guys flashed it earlier in the show, where like 5 of Justin's sacks have come under the 4.29 median sack time. And so like when it's that, I suppose that you put those on the line, but then the vast majority of them have come after the fact. So you're talking like 5, 6, 7 seconds later. And that's not, sometimes he's like moving around and he's scrambling and stuff like that. So it maybe is also on the line there. It's just it's a very nuanced and subjective stat, like those kinds of things. I think that, again, both things can be true. Justin is holding the ball too long because he's processing things, because he doesn't have a handle on this offense quite yet, while also knowing that the offensive line maybe needs to at least give the illusion of protection a little bit more. I think Justin kind of has PTSD, though, too. Like, he's been getting hit since last year and hasn't been able to trust his protection since last year, since he came into the league. And so I think that there's just a little bit of like baggage that comes with that. And so that's why he's a little, he wants to either take off running or whatever. He doesn't really trust what the line's giving him right now.
He also, his college career ended with him breaking his ribs and having to play through that. I mean, it's like it's a real thing. And I also think like in some ways he's also getting punished with analytic, in-depth things like that for the fact that he actually can move. You know what I mean? Like, what I think that doesn't show is how many times there's been a free rusher come at him where he's evaded that player and then picked up 10 yards. You know what I mean? Like, and so I said this earlier on the score. Like, if Trevor Siemian's the quarterback, there might be fewer sacks overall because he might get rid of the ball quicker. But I guarantee there'll be more sacks that you're like, that's the offensive line's fault. You know what I mean? Because he's not going to escape in the same way that Justin Fields does. And so in some ways it almost feels like Fields is getting punished for the fact that he can move around. And yes, there have been plenty of times where he's ran into pressure. I've pointed that out. I've talked about that here. There's absolutely no question that that's part of it. But the reality is you can't put something out there like that and say, it's actually all Justin Fields' fault. It is not, man. A lot of it is. A lot of it's the offensive line, and a lot of it is he has nobody to throw the ball to.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if you look at the coverage sacks, because what little he does have to throw to is covered, because it's not hard to do. I think that you'll see, again, when things go wrong, it's rarely ever just one thing. I don't think that when you talk about fixing the Bears too, there's not just one thing that you can fix and magically everything's going to start working. So I think that that's all. I got in trouble on Twitter by somebody saying, like, just have an opinion and stick to it. Like, if you say Justin Fields is holding the ball too long, just stick with that. You can't like walk it back, because I didn't walk it back, but I said the line can play better too. And I'm like, no, there's two sides. There's not sides to this. Is what I want to say. There's not, like, it's not just Justin Fields and it's not just the offensive line. It's a combination of both, and both can be true.
And don't. I'm speaking for myself here. Do not hold media people to you have this opinion. You have to have that opinion forever. People change their opinions on everything all the time. You do in every walk of your life. One day you love your kids, the next day you don't. Come on. We're allowed to change our opinions. But You cover the NFC North for Fox Sports, Carmi V. There's this team in Green Bay that lost to the Jets and had Sauce Gardner running around with a cheese head and celebrating with Jet fans in Lambeau, which was sweet. And then there's this other team, Minnesota, that's running away with the division, has beaten everybody. So are you crowning the Vikings right now on October the 19th, whatever, my niece's 16th birthday today?
Oh,
What's up, Grace
birthday.
Carmen?
I'm not gonna go so far as crowning them yet, but I think that there's a lot to look forward to with this Vikings team, just because not only are they're figuring this offense out, and again, it's an offense that Kirk Cousins has been in for a while as far as the Shanahan McVay kind of tree of an offense, but you can tell O'Connell has his own spin on it, and they are figuring things out. These wins aren't convincing by any stretch of the imagination, but they're figuring out ways to win by making adjustments and evolving week by week. And I think that is the biggest sense of encouragement, or the sign of encouragement, that I point to with the Vikings in thinking that they can eventually win the NFC North. And I said that in the beginning of the year. I was like, I think they can win the North. I actually had them in the Super Bowl. I don't know if we're going to get that crazy, but yeah, I really like this. I really like the Vikings team. I know Bears fans don't want to hear that, but the Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers is just like, get me some dudes at this point. I think that's what he's saying in his comments of simplification, because like,
it's not even that coded.
Yeah.
No, right. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, simplifying things at this point, that is all gone at this point. Your time for simplification was in the beginning of the year before anybody had tape on you. Now you have, if you want to simplify this offense and get rid of the motions and the shifts and the things that confuse defenses, then you're saying that you are going to have these guys win outright. And you don't have those guys to win outright right now. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to simplify it, then you're going to need some dudes. And I think that's what Aaron is wanting.
So hold on a second, just to rewind back what you just said. You had the Vikings in the Super Bowl, but now you don't, or you still do?
No. I'm like, I listen, when Fox Sports asked for our Super Bowl predictions before the season started, and it was a half educated, like maybe this could happen. Half I just wanted to make people's faces melt. So I picked the Chargers and the Vikings to be in the Super Bowl, because everybody else is picking like the Bills and the Chiefs, like with some combination of the Packers and the Bucks, like all that. I was like, I'm gonna go a little nuts, and now I'm kind of like, I was onto something.
Well, I did pick them to win the North. I definitely wouldn't have gone as far as the Super Bowl, but I am surprised, Carmi, that they still don't seem to be getting very much respect for being 5-1. Like, how a lot of people are looking at it like it's flawed. Like when the Bears were 5-1 a few years ago, and everybody was like, "Okay, we know this isn't for real." But I think the Vikings, it's hard. They have good players. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Like Justin Jefferson might be the best wide receiver in football. The tandem with Adam Thielen is a 1-2 wide receiver punch that not many teams can say they have. Dalvin Cook is a very good running back, and they have a good backup too. So, look, I raise my hand all the time and say not a huge fan of Kirk Cousins, but he can still distribute the football. And when you have those weapons to distribute the football to, you're a pretty damn good team.
They're the ones, though, that are saying that we're not satisfied with our play. We're winning, but a lot of close games. We're sneaking by. The Bears could have, maybe Emmitt Smith-Marset gotten us. So it doesn't seem like they're overly.
Yeah, but counterpoint, they cut Emmitt Smith-Marset, so great move by them to win that game.
That's such a painful moment for Emmitt Smith-Marset. I miss you, Emmitt Smith-Marset. I hope you land and do better. But like, you got cut by this team, and then they just ripped the ball away from you, and just
it's not a good way to go.
That's just a bad scene. But they're not. They think that they're not overly impressed with themselves up in Minnesota. They think they can be better, which is maybe a scary thing.
I mean, that's what every team's going to say, though, also. I think that they've had this belief in themselves, and Kevin O'Connell has rallied his guys. I mean, from everything that I've heard from the guys there and the coaches there, like, everyone loves Kevin O'Connell, and he's so easy to play for, and he's so incredibly smart. And you're seeing that in, like, the adjustments that he's making in game. I think that's the most impressive part about him. And not only has he put his own spin on this offense, but yeah, and then you're executing it with really good players, and he really understands who I think Kirk Cousins is as a quarterback. And I think that they're going to be – it's really funny, though, because you're right. Prior to last week, it was like, oh, God, are the Vikings going to be okay? Like, it was – and then even to start the game against the Dolphins, I mean, they didn't get a first down until like halfway through the second quarter. And so I think people are like looking at that and being like, oh, can this team actually go the distance? And I think like I said, the only reason I think that they can is because they're actively getting better as each week goes on.
All right, a couple more Bears topics before we get out of here that we wanted to address today. So, Carmen, you can chime in as well. The one had to do with the running back situation, and Matt Eberflus hinting yesterday that maybe we'll see more Khalil Herbert. He said, Eberflus said, quote, "We're just going to go with the hot hand. Who's ever hot right there, we're going to stay with him and go from there." And Herbert is averaging 6.4 yards per carry. Carmi, do you think that they're in a situation where Khalil Herbert should actually be RB1?
Well, not necessarily, because I think you like the running back tandem. I think that you're seeing that league-wide as more of a trend where you're having these like this running back rotation. I mean, the wear and tear on these guys is insane. And if you can keep fresh legs in some way, or you have the option of going with the hot hand, I don't know why you wouldn't hold on to that. And that's why I was kind of surprised. Like, I thought it was a very standard thing for Eberflus to say, we're going to go with the hot hand. I feel like anybody that has two viable running backs is going to say that. And I don't know where this like, oh, well, that means he's not going to use David Montgomery as much. Is he on the trading block? Like all that. I don't buy that at all. I think that especially if you want to be a run first team, which this team, even though they're saying they want to improve on the pass, is doing another thing. If you want that, you're going to need two backs to sustain this offense.
Am I the only one that was the last thing that Flus said? It was just kind of a throwaway, like we'll ride the hot hand. I'm like, if I'm David Montgomery, I don't like that comment at all.
Yeah.
Like I it would bother me if I was him.
I just think that I get what he's saying, because I thought when Montgomery wasn't out there a couple weeks ago, they actually missed him.
And Montgomery's a way better blocker, but go ahead.
Yeah, there's that part too. But I also think like it shouldn't just always be about the high hand. It should be situationally, because I thought on that 4th and goal, they gave the ball to the wrong running back, because Montgomery is way better in those tight yardage situations, and it was Herbert who got the carry.
And the thing, he just ran 64 yards, right? So he was gassed by the time he was getting down there. He wanted that carry, he said. Wishing he was like, should I have jumped? Going back to like Walter Payton days, but it could be like with this staff, you need to evaluate. Like you said, Herbert needs to work on the blocking. You get him the hot hand, he's consistently in there. He has more opportunities to show that, because right now Herbert's a better back at doing that so far. But I think it's a smart move on the Bears to see what you got in Herbert. Are you going to pay Montgomery at the end? And you see what Herbert can do as an all-around back.
David Montgomery is someone you want in your locker room. That dude is a winning player. He's one of the Bears' top 7 players, easily, I would say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just not on the let David Montgomery, we can just roll out Khalil Herbert and we'll be fine train. I put some respect on 32. That's all I'm saying.
Carmi, go
I
ahead.
don't think it's a matter of respect though. Like, I think if I'm Justin, or if I'm David Montgomery, I'm like, no, give me somebody else. Make it so I don't have to necessarily shoulder the load and take a beating day in, day out. That's not sustainable. Like, if you can have someone that's there to give you a rest and that you can switch off with, and that the team isn't going to lose as much of what they're trying to do offensively with him in the game, like, I think I would welcome that. I just think that the days of like a feature back are just kind of dwindling, and they're just kind of over, where you need different guys. And I think that they have different strengths, which is a good thing. I mean, the Packers did this a couple weeks ago, where LaFleur even said like, oh, well, we were doing a lot more downhill running, so we put AJ in there, and AJ Dillon. And then, they use them in different ways. So I don't know, maybe it's not necessarily the hot hand, but I think you like having that flexibility and kind of covering all the bases of what running backs can do. And again, if I'm David Montgomery, I feel like I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. Now I get to split some carries and I get to stay a little bit fresher, and I don't have to put my body through so much, because it's so hard.
I just don't know if players think that way, though. At least not him. I get what you're saying. It's very logical. And I'm sure the coaches are thinking that way, but I don't know if he can get there.
I don't know. The other thing too is what to do with Velus Jones Jr. It sounds like I would hope after this break they're going to try to get him more involved in the offense. since the other thing they drafted him for, the return game, despite what Bill Belichick said this morning, has not been going that well. You can't just muff away 2 games and try to, claim that everything is going great. I just see a guy struggling to see the football right now in the punt and return game. That is not, by the way, that's not an easy thing to do when there's a ball high up in the sky, and based on which way it's angling, it's either going to dive on you or carry on you, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to see, and the rotation on the ball matters too. There's a lot of factors, and oh, by the way, there's an entire football team running full speed down the field at you at the same time. Like, I'm not trying to say that it's an easy thing, but if you don't have confidence, and if you're not reading that ball well, you can't be out there. Like, it is a yips thing sometimes with these guys. And unfortunately, though, the other options the Bears have, like Dante Pettis was struggling with it too earlier this year. So I don't know necessarily what the answer is there, but he is a 3rd-round pick, and you better get him involved in the offense.
You have to. And, I mean, Eberflus talked about it. They like his speed and his ability to create yards after the catch, but that aspect of being able, the one guy back there looking up and having 11 people run at you, we need to see if he's capable of doing that. And I don't know if he's going to get this opportunity on Monday night. We'll have to see.
It's Carmen, I'm not sure where you are at on this one as far as just taking him out of there, but to me, this is a Ryan Poles, negative check mark. You drafted a dude, overdrafted him in the 3rd round, someone who you knew had returned all of 18 punts in his 28-year college career. and you're going to throw him out there and say, go do this.
That's a great point by you, and I apologize for interrupting, but shout out to Pat Manley, because he brought this up on The Score last week. I think it was last Friday, and he's like, when I see that a dude was a kick returner for like 5 years in college, but he only had 18 punt returns, right, between 2 different schools, that tells me that the coaches didn't trust him to do it.
Yeah.
Right. If he was elite, you telling me that he couldn't figure it out? That's a. I didn't even go that far, but it's a great point by Pat. Like, if he's doing that, you would think they would put him over there. Oh, well, we're not going to put him there because he can't do it, because he's not comfortable doing it.
He might only be a kick returner.
Right. It's not just the ones that he's dropped. He doesn't look comfortable on the ones that he's just getting away from. He looks awkward on those. Yep. So you got to take him out of there, right? I mean, this is not a rocket science.
I think you take him out of there for Monday night too, because I think part of the struggle is those lights and seeing it at night. I mean, that's a whole other animal too, when you're talking about how you're seeing the ball and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, especially in a hostile environment too. Like, I don't think his confidence is where it needs to be. And that's a great point by Patrick Manley, because kick returns and punt returns, there's a reason that most of the time those 2 players are different.
All right. Well,
yeah, that's like,
I think that's one of the few changes we will see Monday night this week. All right.
Yeah.
Carmi, thanks so much. Appreciate you jumping on.
Of course.
Keep killing it with everything you're doing. You're all over the place. We appreciate you being here with us as well.
I'm not worried about anything other that you do other than Bears After Dark tomorrow night. See you at 6:30.
I will see you at 6:30, Carm.
All right.
And I will remind you off camera to put your phone on vibrate.
Thank you very much.
And see, that's a good teammate right there. I was not there for him, and so I take the blame. At Carmi V on Twitter. Make sure you follow her there. All right, we got to get out of here. Make sure you follow us all on Twitter. At Adam Hoge, at the Carm, at Nicholas Moreano. All of his updates from House Hall. You look like you have something else to say.
No, I just want to say at Nicholas Moreano, who lost to at the Carm today on the ping pong table, and let's all go have a great day. And brought us meat sticks. That was delicious. Thank you, Greenwood.
But you just keep slamming the ping pong thing in his face, despite the meat sticks he brought.
Well, the dude's been walking out of here for a month, and the first thing he does, he gets right on. So I was like, yeah, another victory today. What's up, y'all? I'm Moreano. I just kicked Carm and everybody else's ass. Yeah, there ain't going to be no video today.
Yeah, no video.
Yep. Great point by Alex. He says, I miss Jakeem Grant. Jakeem Grant was an
was
underrated
great.
addition last year, who was pretty. I think he's out for the year.
Towards ACL.
Yeah. So he was with the Browns.
You too, Mubs. I'll be watching the Bulls tonight.
Io. Man, make sure you check out CHGO Bulls Show. All the coverage, we'll have it for you. And if you haven't seen it yet, the Ayo news joining CHGO. We are very excited about it. We'll be back. Actually, important note, no noon show tomorrow. It is Bears After Dark tomorrow night, 6:30.
That's right.
6:30. No noon show. Then Friday there will be a noon show. That'll be Will and Nick's preview. That's usually on Thursday, but because the Bears play Monday night, it's Friday instead. Got all that? Awesome. So After Dark tomorrow night. See you there.